member of our team, moderate the panel. So Benjamin Wong is currently pursuing a bachelor's in science in business administration and management at USC. He had his freshman year in Switzerland, I believe, and now beginning a career in investment banking. He was our finance chair from 2017 to 2018, and during that time, he doubled our budget, managed a $10,000 grant, and established partnerships with various companies. Next, there's Michelle Cheung, who's a junior at UC Berkeley pursuing a computer science major. He's our co-president from 2018 to 2019 and our STEM workshop chair in years prior, where she led our award-winning STEM workshop program and increased participation from students from underserved and underrepresented communities by 50%. Next, our other co-president from 2018 to 2019 is Wang, and he's currently at Dartmouth pursuing a double major in computer science and philosophy with a minor in statistics, and incoming winter data science intern at Shopify. He led the process resulting in TeenTechSF becoming a 501c3 nonprofit. And last but not least, we have Madeeha Khan, who was our president last year. She is a first-year UC Berkeley Regents and Chancellor Scholar who now serves in corporate relations at the RCSA, which is the Regents and Chancellors Scholar Association. She's also interned at the Lawrence Hall of Science, RK Family Holdings LLC, and the UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital in Oakland. And I believe those are high school internships, not college internships. So now I'd like to turn over to Ridija, who will be moderating this panel.
Okay, hi everyone. So I guess you can just start off with since you guys are all TeenTechSF alumni, how has your experience being a part of TeenTechSF helped you through your college or through high school? And we can start off with Michelle.
Yeah, sure. TeenTechSF, I guess, has helped me with different leadership opportunities I've gone in college. And it's just equipped me with the different skills that I probably wouldn't have had if I hadn't joined, event planning, and just general leadership skills and teaching skills. And teaching has really helped me transfer over to the teaching I've done in intro CS classes at school. So yeah.
And Madeeha, do you have things to add to that?
Yeah, I would just back what Michelle said. It definitely gave me a wide variety of skill sets that I probably wouldn't have had as much practice using if I wasn't in TeenTechSF. And then another big thing that I think TeenTechSF did was kind of gave me the courage to just kind of put myself out there and just kind of ask questions and not be afraid to approach people when I feel I need their help, or if I wanted to get some sort of information or experience with them.
And what about you, Brian?
Yeah, I think just building off of what the other two have said, I think one of the really special things about TeenTechSF is that it allows you to meet and work with people from completely different backgrounds, which is really similar to what you'll experience in college. I think oftentimes people at your high school are of similar socioeconomic backgrounds and of relatively similar demographics, at least in my high school. So TeenTechSF really gave me the unique opportunity to collaborate with different kinds of students from all walks of life, which really helped me before entering college.
And finally, Benjamin, if you wanted to add anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I think TeenTechSF was, played a huge role into my overall acceptance into a college that I really wanted to attend. I think even after I got into college, it still provided me with, invaluable skills, whether it be collaborating in groups or, just communicating with team members. Those skills are very valuable and will translate well into any other sort of endeavor that you choose to pursue. And in general, just being part of TeenTechSF helped me to improve these skills and helped me to become ready for bigger responsibilities in the future.
Okay, thank you. So Madeeha, you've obviously had a unique experience starting out college in this remote learning environment at UC Berkeley. So could you tell us a bit about how online UC Berkeley is going and what it was like to start college online?
Yeah, I think a lot of freshmen, like their first year is usually difficult because they're like transitioning from like their high school coursework to like a college course work, which for most students is usually difficult. But like for me, what I noticed most that was most difficult was more of the transition of like being online versus in person. Mostly because I feel like I'm a very like hands-on learner. I like to like study in groups. I like to talk with people, things like that. So it's been a unique experience, but I would say it's been difficult as well. I feel like the classes are really well organized, but in terms of getting the most out of like if I'm actually learning, it's been a little bit difficult just not having being in person and things like that. But I think that for me, it's kind of a way to kind of like a good way to bring change into your schedule and perspective on things because in high school I was definitely the type of student who just loved being outside most of the time. So I went to school, extracurriculars after school, work, and I wouldn't be at home very often. I used to study in the library, like in cafes, outside, and stuff like that. And then transitioning to just being like at home all the time online, and I have a big family too, so it's a little distracting. But I would say that it gives you a different perspective on how to like change. Now I like try to use any like spare time that I would have been like out volunteering and using for extracurriculars, just kind of like walking, taking walks around my neighborhood, spending more time with my family, things like that. So there's definitely some plus sides to it, but also some cons to it too.
Okay, so now I want to talk a bit. I know a lot of you guys have had internships, so I was wondering if you could, all of you guys could describe what internships you had, like what did you work on, and like how you got your internship. So I guess we can start with Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. So after freshman year, I was able to intern with a hedge fund advisory firm in New York called Axia. And so as an intern, I was primarily working on creating a contact sheet for the investment due diligence team. And I was also creating a few Excel simulations to help calculate the net asset value of the company's portfolios. And so after sophomore year, I was able to intern at a local boutique investment bank in San Francisco called Vine Group. And I was working on tech coverage and biotech deals, where I was just doing a bit of due diligence on the deal and also creating pitch decks for the deal, as well as creating a few valuation models in Excel as well. All that's a bit of jargon right there, but basically, the way I got those internships was primarily through networking. I think that that's probably the most important and most pivotal method to secure an internship. So, the way I went about that was by cold emailing people on the team, setting up coffee chats with those people over the phone, and then learning more about their responsibilities. And, after learning about their responsibilities, just, inquiring if there was an open position for the internship. And if there was availabilities, I progressed throughout the interview process and eventually secured the internship. So I think definitely, that sort of networking is really vital, and, creates more personal connection and definitely guarantees a higher success rate of securing the internship. And I think, I just prepared for the internship by brushing up on my Excel and PowerPoint skills.
And Brian, do you want to talk about your experience in internships?
Yeah, sure. So I'm currently a sophomore. So over my freshman summer, I interned at a private equity firm, which was focused on acquiring and operating a business in the enterprise software and mental health space. So as an intern, I had the opportunity to source potential acquisitions and also join in on calls with a lot of business owners. So I feel like that was a really valuable experience. And I got my internship mainly through networking with alumni that were also a part of the campus student newspaper group I was a part of. And this upcoming winter, I'll be interning at Shopify as a data science intern. For those of you that don't know, Shopify is a multinational like e-commerce company. And I'm not too sure of what I'll be doing exactly, but I'll be working on the international data team. And how I secured this internship was I just applied to like over like 100 places. So I think a word of advice I have is to just apply to as many places as possible, because there's just so many people that are like so many qualified people that are competing for each position. So you really just have to put yourself out there and Really, it's a numbers game that you just have to you just have to apply to as many places as possible.
Okay, thank you. So obviously all of you guys have been through the hectic college application process. So how did you guys, if you have decided what you want to major in college, how did you like go through that decision process? Starting with Michelle.
Yeah, for me, I guess I mainly just put like computer science or computer engineering for my major. And I think I kind of ended up on that since a lot of the extracurriculars I did in high school were related to computer science. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it so far, so I think it was a good decision.
What about you, Madeeha?
Yes, I went into college, like I applied to most of the colleges as a bio-E major, just so that that's kind of what I had an interest in throughout high school, because I know I want to do something like tech related, but also kind of something more like towards science as well. So I thought it would be like a good mixture. But one word of advice I will give is you probably will like end up liking something in college just because there's so many like cool classes that you can take. And even though it's my first semester, I took a data science class, and it was really interesting, and I really liked it a lot. So now I'm kind of like wondering if I want to shift a little bit more towards data science, and have like a domain emphasis in biology or something similar to that. So I would say it's the way I kind of came into it is I kind of picked a couple of things that I really liked, and try to find a good mixture of it. So that's what I would suggest trying to do.
And what about you, Brian?
So I'm currently a computer science and philosophy double major. I think I applied mainly as a computer science or econ major to most of the schools I applied to. And I think one of the great things about Dartmouth is that it really like allows you to take courses in whatever you want, and we only have to decide on our major in our second year. So truthfully, I didn't really know what I wanted to do before college, but I think after taking a few classes in, computer science and philosophy, I was able to find my niche.
And finally, Ben.
Yeah, so from a very young age, I've always had like a really keen interest in finance, and so that's what really sort of guided me to major in business in college. And so I think most people do have some sort of like innate interest in a specific field, but like if you don't, I think it's really important to use high school as an exploratory phase to try out new things. Obviously, like being involved in certain extracurricular activities is really helpful. I think being in TeenTechSF really reaffirmed my interest in finance, and also just like attending like summer camps or anything like that is also like really beneficial as well. I participated in a case competition at Haas with my guy Brian Wang over there. So I think that really also reaffirmed my interest in business, and just having those numerous experiences to try out new things and sort of test out your passion or interest in a specific field is very helpful.
Okay, thank you. And finally, to wrap this all up, do you guys have any advice for people who are currently applying or planning to apply in the future for college? And we can start with Madeeha.
I would definitely just say, in terms of applying to college, just kind of like make a list of any school that you could possibly see yourself at, and just apply. I know that like if you have the ability to apply to all of them, I would say just do it, because I feel like you don't want to have this like regret later on down the road saying like, oh, I really wanted to go to this school, but I didn't have like the time to apply or whatever. So I definitely think that if you have like all the things you need, whether it's financially or just in time, to just apply. And if it's like in terms of financial needs, a lot of schools do offer fee waivers. So I wouldn't if you really do want to apply to a school, I would say don't limit yourself. Definitely try reaching out to the school and explain to them that this is a school you would really want to go to, and ask them if they would possibly waive the fee, because I know that a lot of schools do that, and it is a big barrier for a lot of students who don't end up like applying to schools because of the fee waivers. So I'd say just try not to limit yourself, just so that you don't have any regrets later on down the line.
Okay, thank you. And then next, Michelle, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think Madeeha made a great point. Like, definitely apply to schools if you like financially you can, to all the schools that you want to get into. Don't be afraid to aim high. It's just try for it. And another thing I would say, just like don't like overload yourself too much. Also, like don't apply to like, you know, more than like 20 schools, or even 20 is a lot already. So like definitely like narrow down your list, figure out exactly kind of what you want, really like research the schools and understand them. Because not only is that better for your understanding of where you want to go, but also that shows the schools how much you like that school as well. And that'll help with your application to really show your interests. So I definitely think like narrow down your list and you know, research the schools as much as you can. And another point would be like set up a schedule to like do things step by step, because you don't want to be like, you know, the day the application is due, do the whole application and send like 5 applications in or something like that. So definitely like do things step by step, you know, take it easy. And of course, put your mental health first, you know, if you're having a stressful day and you just don't feel like writing that essay for that college that day, you know, take a break. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And Brian?
Yeah, I think Michelle and Madeeha have already. I think Michelle and Madeeha have already made all like the points about applying that I was gonna make. So one of the things that I wanted to say was like, although it's really important for you to like work hard in your senior year and like apply to all these colleges, also just try to enjoy your senior year. Like I think like looking back, I wish I spent like a little more time with my friends and also just having more like life experiences in my senior year rather than being over focused on college applications. So just realize that I think that like high school is like a point you'll never have back in your life. So really enjoy that last year with like friends that you've grown up like these past like what 12 18 years with, and just cherish the moments because I think you'll definitely miss them when they're gone.
And finally, Ben.
Yeah, I think it's really important also, as like other people have said, to cast a very wide net. So whether it be like a potential reach or safety school that you have in mind, I think you should definitely just try to apply for it. I think that once the process winds down and you have all of your acceptance letters, you know, having those potential colleges and acceptances really helps with making your final decision. And also, like for a lot of colleges, there's like a supplemental secondary application you have to complete. And so for those, I'd really stress to try to make the application as personable and unique and just kind of tailor it to the specific college you're applying to, because that will really impress, you know, the application readers. And, you know, that definitely improves your chances of getting into that school by making that connection.
Okay, thank you so much to all of the alumni, and I'm going to pass it back to Brian.